Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi, part 2 of my solo run in District Union Arena. One of the bad things that happened during this run was I ran out of disk space, so the video stopped. Thankfully I was done with this section. This is the garage section. I fought it from inside the building if you didn't see it. And now I'm coming to the plant growing section, and that's the one with the dogs, the people, and the two chungas. So at this point, I've soloed so far District Union with a modified damage, skill DPS damage build. It's not my maximum. I've traded my maximum damage build. I've traded some survivability. I swapped out my chest piece that had momentum with an unbreakable. At this point, I'm normally would put a pulse on here, especially with a jammer pulse with high skill DPS does a lot more damage, but I'm just going to go straight up with the damage I got. And so this is the last part you go. Now my cat Pink's up here. You might have heard him, little meow. This is the last part before you get to the checkpoint. And this is really, I think I've only died in here once with a group, and that was just tragic. So I'm pretty confident I'm going to get through here. In total, I will have spent about 2 hours in here when all these things are done. I have not sped this video up because this is a pretty great video. It's good to talk about video, I should say. The first video, I'm going through much of the area, and it's slow because I'm taking my time, I'm being careful, and you know, it's not really that exciting as far as that, just kind of a proof of concept. In the past video, I said, how am I going to beat the boss? The boss has a backpack that you have to break, and then you can get him. I think sometimes what I've done is I've used a Firefly demolition, or demolisher it might be called, to break the backpack in groups. I'm hoping that the scaling for one person will not be as great, so it won't take me as much. There have been times I've been in groups with high DPS people and they've mowed down that backpack. Like really, I think I made a short on how fast we took them down. So it can be done pretty fast, but I don't have those kind of builds. Once I finish with the dogs, I will go back to my shotgun. And with that build, that's Caesar now messing with the cat, and now they're going to have a short little battle. Get off me, Pink, because I don't want to be in the battle. And I'm recording. Well, no, Pink's going to stay right there, so you're okay, Caesar. Takes a little bit longer. And now I'm recording in a different spot, so the dogs have more access, the cats have more access. I'm not where I usually record. Took a little bit longer on the dogs. I should have had pulse. And now, out come the people. They're going to go down pretty easy. I'm using test subject. I keep the shotgun up because I still like the crowd control capabilities, and I still want to have that. Knock it off. I'm going to squirt some people in here. I'm going to squirt a cat and a dog. And so they're going to go down pretty easy, and then we're going to get the chungas. And what I want you to note about the chungas is they're going to go down pretty fast. And that's really what you want to think about in the DPS in your group. You're measuring how long it takes to get a chunga. I will squirt you guys like crazy. There's the chungas. That really is a good indicator on how you're going to do through a legendary, like when you run into Chunga, how fast. The Chungas aren't really anything. It's just that hive skill they have, which is the problem. One of the other benefits of Scorpio is it puts a 20% debuff on them. That's that orange thing you see up there. But that with the test subject and the higher DPS on the skills, they're going to go down pretty fast. And you see that's the 109K was the, okay, so what you see in the cut in there is now I had to clear up hard disk space, and now I'm good to go. So that almost was a big gulp moment, because I was like, I've gone all this way and not be able, whenever there's a glitch, game bar has a problem to restart, so I had to restart game bar. So that was kind of touchy for a second. I almost was like, oh shit. So I still have that same build, and I've said this before, you fight this in a counterclockwise manner. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stay in here. I've never done this before, and what I realize is there's no place for cover. The main thing I've run into during this legendary run is that the snipers are a pain in the ass, and that's really what I have a problem with. And probably what I should have done is I should have gone out and fought what I normally do. You fight in that part on the far end of the hall, the arena, and then they're going to come over from the left part of the arena from where we're staring now. They have 2 spawns from the left, and then they have 1 spawn on this end. And you fight in a counterclockwise pattern. You fight this one first, then you turn to the left, fight twice to the left, and then turn once more to the left. And from that position there, you're looking back 180 degrees, or you're looking at that, maybe not back 180 degrees. But then you fight the boss. He spawns like 4 or 5 people on the boss. And so this is a tactical mistake. So this is I think I said in the last video games don't reward defensive positions. And this is exactly, I'm not going to do well because I'm fighting too defensively. I have enough DPS, but for whatever reason, I think what happens is I'm so close now that I am even more cautious than I should be, even though I can die and it's okay. At this point, I've probably been doing this about 2 hours, maybe close to 2 hours. So I'd like it to be done also. And I'm not even at the boss. One benefit of fighting from here is I have ammo, but I'm not an ammo build, so the benefits are kind of meh. This might have been a good spot for blue screen or maybe pestilence. And this is a benefit of maybe a mixed build at this point, where pestilence could, cascade its debuff or its damage onto other people after you kill them. If I was a better sniper, this might be good. Maybe having the sniper turret now would be better. And the other thing I've talked to you about is when your skills are on cooldown, that's kind of one of the things. I'm trying to anticipate this next spawn. They're going to spawn. They're going to come down here in the center and over from the left from where I am now. So I'm making that move. Sometimes they go back in there. And I've never been back in there. Never had to fight from back in there. Okay, so now the next spawn. And so I'm in an okay spot. And that's going to be a problem because I'm not reaching. This is where build with Pulse would be okay because I'd be knocking down those drones. And what I've told you about, and to a lesser extent, this happens in Heroics and Challenging, if I don't put enough pressure on the enemy, they're just going to keep rushing me. And I don't have enough weapon DPS where that's going to, in some things, that's what you want to do. Just, you know, you want to funnel them into where you are. And I don't really have a place to funnel them in here. I've never been in this part as a solo. And usually I'm not thinking about solo. So I'm trying some stuff out. So I'm going to count on the drone, and I guess I'm going to make a stand right here. So I got this person to kill, and I'll have the third wave, and then I'll get to the boss wave. And you can see I'm a little bit timid to go out. I don't want to get caught out in the open when that next spawn comes. And I'm trying to save my healing kits because when the boss comes, I'm going to probably need them because he has this AoE. Yeah, there's the next spawn. Now, what I never realized, because we normally wipe this in a group, look at how many healers there are. So now this is a no shit. Because if I don't take out those healers, they're just going to keep rezzing everyone, and I'm never going to get out of this wave. And so being in, there's Unbreakable firing off. Being in this such of a defensive position, I can't see half the map. It's good in one sense, but now I'm just letting them res everyone. So I'm trying to figure out what to do here. And I think this is what makes the Division 2 a great game, right? If I could have one more skill, if I could have Jammer in this, it'd be perfect, but I don't. So it's a game of compromises, and, you know, you have to make do. You have to accentuate one part, which then leaves you vulnerable to another part. And that's, you know, I mentioned about problem solving. And it said one of the biggest things to problem solve, it's not the only thing, but one of the biggest things to solve problems is the question why. And that's what's good about this game. It's a puzzle. This is something that, let me call out Super Slanky Lanky for a second. He appreciated my little philosophical bit at the start of that other why video, and I appreciate him doing that. Didn't want to call him out, but he called himself out in the comments again. So yes, I didn't forget it was you. I just didn't want to tell you that. But that's a little bit of a thing. It's what I went to college for. So not trying to drown people in philosophy, but it's I think it's kind of important why we do stuff. Really just ultimately, you know, when you think about big questions, you know, why do you do stuff? So you can see they keep pushing me. This is because I'm not putting pressure on them. There's a guy up above. I'm in a bad spot. I don't have elevation. If you have elevation, if I knew what this wave was, I would have got elevation because it doesn't look like they have grenadiers. It looks like they have healing people. So this is one of the things. There's a tick-tock cadence to this, right? The first one has snipers and some grenadiers. This one had, you know, more healers. This is about knowing the fight. Well, but there's a big surprise coming. So I'm getting close to this. I see there's a person on my left. And oops. At some point, I just decided I'm going to run and try to get to the ammo dump. And oh no. Okay, so I decide now to go to my tank build. My tank build consists of 3 improvised pieces that have the damage reduction to elites. It has a adrenaline rush, which gives me more armor, and it has a Ridgeway, which gives me healing when I damage people by a bleed. It also is kind of skill-based because I'm going to use a shield. It's going to have an artificer that replenishes my shield. My shield is maxed out to 20 almost, maybe 19, and recharge. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to try to just rush everyone because the last time I was too passive. So let's see how the tank build does. So there's a progression, right? The tank build, when I can't clear heroic, I go to that. And then I'll go to a high DPS, but I've already used a pretty high DPS. So now I'm like, okay. So we'll see how this goes. So you saw in one of my videos when I was with the Zen guys, I run back here because if I come back here, I can push everyone back off of here. And I'm kind of getting everyone, those snipers, kind of in front of me. The benefit of this build is that the star of this build is the shield because it's how I kill everyone. One shot, sniper people I have a little bit of problem with, but anyone with a machine gun, they're just killing themselves. The big thing you have to watch out in any of these tank builds, you got to keep people in front of you. You can see my play style is completely different. And what you're going to see is I do a lot better. I clear things a lot faster. I've played this build a lot, so I know I have a lot of healing built into this build. Sometimes when you see some of those blue pieces like Bellstone, it has 1% armor regen. That's 10,000. That's like having 2 pieces of blue when you have 1,000,000 armor. So one of those pieces are good. Sometimes I've tried to, that's horrible. Just got an alert. My weekly screen time was up 20%. So we're already on the second wave. I know what's going to happen next. And you can see these guys are just killing themselves. So the thing I'm doing wrong here, though, is I'm not letting them come to me. And I'm starting to get surrounded because I'm not, situationally aware. And those dumb drones are killing me. So what I didn't do in this is I didn't prioritize people. So this is wave 2, and then I'm going to get on the healer wave. So at this point, everything's okay. Oops, that's not good. Why did that happen? So instead of getting in cover, I'm just trying to kill this guy. This is a machine gun that puts 20% extra damage on bleed. And there we go. And so now, for whatever reason, I can't figure out why I keep losing my shield. And so this is where I'm overplaying my hand a little bit. All right, next wave are the healers. So at this point, I'm pretty happy with myself because it's going pretty fast. And then maybe this is the wrong... I can't decide what to do here. So I say, oh, I'm going to try to kill that healing pot. I shouldn't really worry about the healing pots. And you see I'm sloppy now. I got people surrounding me, and this is a mistake right there. That is a mistake, my friend. That is poor gameplay. And with this build, sometimes this is where if a lot of people come around, they kind of heal me. So that's a Christmas miracle that I use a kit. I'm still worried about those healing pots. That's a mistake. Oh my God. So now, now I'm like, oh no. So what am I going to do next? Well, I'm going to take my survival Vile Jammer build. So this is a build that's a survivalist. And instead of having like 70%, excuse me, the last one was only 72%. This has like 80% damage reduction. And so this is the build that I do at the end of other legendaries when I'm in groups. So I have Vile Jammer. I got some shotgun extra damage. In hindsight, and that has Unbreakable on it. This is usually my go-to in a group. Let me help carry us through, where I can do healing and I can do a little bit of everything. Oh, if you see there, I kind of got a mistake. So this might have what happened. See, I got some yellows in there. That's probably bad. Ronin. All right, so I'm going to pop this new build. Now, in one of my videos, I just run straight out and get smoked in this build. I'm so confident in this build. I'm overconfident. And then look what I did there. I'm missing 30% of my damage reduction. So I'm pulsing there. Not going to do good against reds. And I think I die in the exact same place I did in the Zen video. That's horrible gameplay. So at this point, maybe my focus is gone. I try this build again. So I don't go in good spots. You can see I'm almost surrounded. I'm going to pulse those things. Someone in the comments asked, they were building the build. You can see this build. It's not a fast recharge build, and it's not a lot of damage, but it has more survivability. So when you're making a Vile Jammer, you have different options on what you can do. And really, you're kind of piecing these all together, what fits your gameplay style. And there goes Unbreakable. And again, the negative is I am playing defensively. And so when you play defensively and I'm in a bad spot, those snipers, you can see that the biggest thing I had a problem with was the snipers. And that's why I rushed out there in the beginning to get the snipers. So my methodology, I've gone through the whole instance, the whole mission with one build. I get to the end, that build doesn't work. I go to a tank build, which has high defense, and it's a very mobile build, and that gets me kind of far, but not all the way. I go to a build that I've done in every legendary, in groups, every legendary final, and put that on. I immediately die in that one, and then I play a little bit more cautious. I can be more mobile. And in all these builds where I have more elite damage reduction, I have to kill the purples and the reds first because they can still hurt me. A yellow I don't really care about. Yes, it's going to hurt, but not 80% reduction. Okay, so I'm through the first phase here, almost. Now I'm going to go to the second one. So I'm going to go up there and kind of push him a little bit. And I don't know why I thought this spot was a decent spot because it was shitty before. Unbreakable goes, they're all over me, and there.
Agent, deceased.
Now I'm like, WTF. So I'm going to switch to a new build. And I'm going to go to my maximum DPS build. So this is the DPS build where I have momentum on the chest piece. I have that exotic that's going to oscillate back and forth between skills. I have perfect shock and awe, which is going to give me 27 seconds, 20% when I put a status effect on them. Werven two-piece, it has status effects and damage. The Hana or Hala, I forget what it is. First piece is skill haste, second piece is skill damage. You can see my turret and my drone, 20 and 17 expertise. And I'm using my test subject. So this is my final, this is my build. This is it. I've shot everything. I've done a vial jammer. I got my max skill TBS. I've done my tank build. I've done my end of legendary build. And so we're going to see what happens now. So I've gone through a progression that I normally do when I'm in groups. Whatever build I'm doing, sometimes I'm trying to run a DPS build, it fails. I will go to maybe my tank build or vial jammer. If I choose the tank build, then I'll go vial jammer. If the vial jammer doesn't work, I'll go to my max DPS because it puts the most pressure, single target pressure. Now the advantage of single targets is when I'm going against reds and purples, it's going to smoke them faster. And then really all I got to worry about is yellows. Yellows still go down. The difference between this build and the very first build is I don't have as much survivability. And this is what I talked about maybe in the first video. I have to use you see the first icon under my stats. That's the shock and awe. I got to use a status effect to get that extra 20%. So I constantly have to switch. And this kind of pain button, there's the sniper. So I got to switch to the shotgun eventually. And you see my damage off my skills is really good. That's 137 off my drone and 200 off my turret. When the second wave, easy for me to put my stuff on. Now let me get test subject rolling, and now I'm at max damage now. And I'm just going to burn through these healing kits. I'm not saving. What am I saving for? If I'm going to keep dying, I might as well go out, stay alive as long as I can. And so I'm not moving now. That position where I have my turret is where I put it in every group because it kills on that end. I'm going to get more ammo. Here's one thing I forgot at the start of all these things. I didn't re-ammo up, which is idiotic. Again, that's a tactical mistake. That spot right there. It's a good thing it gets everyone in the arena. So, second wave, going to be doing the third. And this is just stupid on my part. Again, why am I not waiting until my skills are up? So I would say this is another mistake. Fighting here without my turret, it's just a mistake because then they're not going towards the turret. They're going to come towards me. So I probably should have stayed over there. But I'm like, this is going well. I'm pretty confident now. I got this. There's a guy to my left. I'm going to take him out. That's a mistake to start with the machine gun. I should have started with the... And me with these stupid healing kits. Stop worrying about them.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
I think I've said this to you before. Getting fixated on targets, especially bosses, is usually silly. So at this point, I'm surrounded. I don't have my other skill. And I'm not getting the support of my turret, right? I'm not under cover of the turret. I don't want to use that last healing kit. And so again, I'm getting surrounded and dead. Okay, so when you've exhausted every solution, then you do something irrational. And that's what I do. I go back to my tank build. It didn't work before. How in the world do I think it's going to work now? Well, I got pretty far, and so I am going to do one last try at this. I made it all the way through here, and I don't want to give up, right? I don't want to give up, but at the same time, I can't do it for a lot of different reasons, right? And I don't know, but I just can't do it. So I'm going to try with the tank build, and I'm going to try to go in a place where I can funnel them in. I've never played there, but I'm going to try it. Again, these are all desperation kind of things. This is what we call in troubleshooting Easter egging. So it's like you don't know, you don't use there's a way to troubleshoot. It's called half stepping. You go halfway between the problem, and then you can rule out half of it, and you keep half stepping. And that's a procedure that you can go and figure out, a process where you can figure out a problem. Easter egging is when you just find the answer and it's like, hey, I found it. You don't know why you solved it. You got an Easter egg. Hey, I found the Easter egg. So that's what I'm hoping here right now. I'm not consciously hoping this. I'm not happy about this decision. But I want to finish the stupid thing. I haven't even got to the boss, right? Again, not playing from the right place. I don't know if I'm going to play from the back or the front. I keep thinking about those snipers, so I'm trying to keep this building between me and the snipers. And now I'm getting grenaded. And so just everything. Again, what makes the game good is it's not exactly the same each time. It's similar each time, but it's not exactly the same. So the solutions are always varying. It's always mutating a little bit, and you're finding a new solution. And so you're not trying to hard code a solution to all this stuff. You're trying to develop a process. When I get these variables, I change and I throw this at it. And at this point, I'm at my wit's end. Like I'm just guessing. There's no more thought in this. I'm just like, okay. And so earlier in this video, I mentioned, again, I want to tell you one of the strengths of this build is I go around people, not that I avoid people. So you can see my armor isn't buffing up. So maybe I'm going to stay in this little cubby hole. The idea is I need to be near people. So like now I don't even know, this build is made to be around people, but I'm going opposite of what the build's for. Yes, it has some survivability, but now I'm going to go into this little cubby hole. And then further, what I'm going to do here eventually is I'm going to go into cover. The build is meant to go out, get in people's face. The more people around you, the better, because it gives you more armor. And the shield ricochets their bullets into them. So I want you to just consider that sometimes, even though you know what you're doing is wrong, you still do it. Why? I don't know. That's right. Am I giving up? Am I self-sabotaging myself? Am I just tired of playing? You know, it's a lot of different things. Where's this guy? Why is he back there? And so, could I do District Union Arena on solo? Kind of. Did I finish it? No. Am I going to finish it? No. This is the difference between me now and maybe when I was younger. I would just, you know, keep banging my head against the wall till I did it. Me finished it. And what's more powerful for me is, you know, that I failed at it. So my builds aren't all that. Now, one thing I've told you about Vilemajor, it is not the build for solo. It can be for solo legendary because it just, you don't have the survivability. You don't have the single target damage you need when a rusher comes. That's why it's not for that. It's great for everything else. And so I decided to go into this corner and I'm going to make my final stand. So I want to thank everyone for watching these two videos. Good luck if you're doing District Union Arena. I'm sure, I know people have done it before me and they'll do it after me. Appreciate everyone that watches the channel. If I inspired people to make their own videos, great. If you were making your own videos before, that's great. I like seeing them. I like the community we have. And I want to just thank everyone. I'm not going to at least make a video of it. We've seen enough of District Union and me soloing it. So this is it. This is the last one. It's not the last video I'm going to make. It's the last one of these videos I'm going to make. Thank you again. Good luck out there.
Vital signs critical.